Yeah, that's the early lane.
Hey, you take gavel like, don't get carried away. There you go.
We'll call this meeting, special call meeting to order in McLean County Fiscal Court here on Monday, February 15th at 7 a.m. If you would stand with me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Lord, for this day and blessings of life. Ask you, Lord, to put your protecting arm around the ones that's clearing our roads. Must be a work done outside, whatever it is. Lead, guide, and direct us through this meeting. May we do things respectful for this county and for you, Lord. Thank we ask in your name. Amen.
Thank you all for joining us early this morning. Get some business done here before the snow hits, maybe pay a few bills, so. Okay. First item of business for your consideration this morning are the minutes from the January 28th, 2021 regular fiscal court meeting. You should have received those already. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes. Motion has been made and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Motion to approve the prior meeting's minutes passes. Next, we have the treasurer's report, item B.
You received that I have completed and it is balanced for the month of January in your notebook.
I'll entertain a motion to accept the January treasurer's report. The motion has been made and properly seconded to accept January 2021 treasurer's report. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Motion to accept the January 2021 treasurer's report is approved. Next, we have transfers.
Okay, the first thing is cash transfers. As you can tell from your summary that the dispatch is running a little short again, and so we're asking for a $10,000 transfer. So this will take care of a few bills, and hopefully by that time we'll do a PSAP quarterly report money, and that should take care of the next payroll.
Should be after that. Let's say the January should be.
Keep on, bro.
Transfers is right after the report.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the transfers if you all see fit.
Motion to approve transfer from general to dispatch. $10,000.
The motion has been made and properly seconded to approve the cash transfer from the general fund, which was budgeted, to the dispatch fund in the amount of $10,000. Any discussion?
Let's make them run short.
Nothing really. Like I said,
It's just that tight.
yeah, what it is that we just didn't have cash on hand to transfer, but this is part of the budget. We had budgeted over $100,000 or more to transfer in. This is just part of regular business. Any other comments? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Motion to approve the cash transfer passes. Next, we have the payment of all claims for all departments.
As you know, Matt just passed around, I have just a few additional bills that we need to pay, refunds of occupational tax to, Bria employees that was overpaid on their occupational. So we start off with general, we have total bills of $14,559.25, road, $8,677.65, jail, $204.41, LGEA, $6,035.36, ambulance, $4,204.21, dispatch, $1,082 even, senior services, $2,760.13, Western Fire, $138.74, Central Fire, $512.81, Eastern Fire, $80, Southern Fire, $54.25, Southeastern Fire, $1,307.44. Then we had the 3 occupational refunds of Carol Eaton, $5.52, Fred Coons, $26.98, Chris Ellis, $36.73, for a total of $69.23. When adding this to the total on the left side, it equals $39,685.48. Is there any questions?
Make a motion to pay.
The motion has been made. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion has been properly made and seconded to pay all open invoices and claims for all departments. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All those opposed, nay. Motion to pay all open invoices and claims for all departments passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Curtis, you might need to get a motion to approve or accept treasurer's report.
We did that.
Okay.
I missed it.
Make motion.
Before transfers. Totally missed it. Okay, I'll look back and video.
All right, next we have, you remember from the last meeting, we took the time to read through all the details, Ms. Dana and Donna both. And we've read through all the details of the suggested amendments to the recently passed occupational license tax ordinance. Per discussions, we feel like the version that you have in your binder that remits the 1099 section, but also clarifies the penalty portion for each individual if they have late payments, would be the one that we would suggest the court to approve today. Due to the amount of work and the extra papers we're going to have, we feel the 1099 free amendment would be the right amendment to go with. That should be the second one that you have. Yeah, it should be the second one that you have in your folder. And it reads as follows. It's an ordinance making certain technical amendments to occupational license tax ordinance number 20.220.7. Whereas certain issues regarding interpretations of some aspects of the occupational license tax have arisen, and whereas in order to properly administer and apply said ordinance, said issues require correction. Now, therefore, be it ordained, section 220.03B is amended to read as follows. All owners, members, or partners of partnerships, LLCs, LLP, S's, or S corporations shall have the right to elect to pay the occupational license tax as a business entity or as an individual person. If all the owners, members, or partners elect to report and pay the occupational license tax as a business entity, then only the partnership, LLC, LLP, or S corporation shall report or pay the occupational license tax under this ordinance. All guaranteed payments made by a partnership or LLC must be added to the partnership's or LLC's net profit before calculating the occupational tax due. If all the owners, members, or partners elect to pay the occupational license tax individually, then it shall be the duty of each and every owner, member, or partner to report and pay as a person any occupational license tax due. If all owners, members, or partners elect to pay the occupational license tax individually as a person rather than a business entity, then the business entity must notify the occupational tax administrator. Section 2, which is section 220.06F, is repealed. And section 3, which is section 220.99A1, is amended to read as follows. A1, a business entity subject to tax on net profits may be subject to a penalty equal to 5% of the tax due for each calendar month or fraction thereof if the business entity, and then the ordinance shall be effective upon final passage and publication. You all agree with these changes, which basically takes us back to what we had in verbatim before we updated the ordinance. I'll entertain a motion to accept the first reading.
Motion to approve first reading.
Motion has been made by Magistrate Hayden. Do we have a second? Seconded by Magistrate Troutman. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All those opposed, nay. Motion to approve the first reading of ordinance number 21-220.7A is approved. Next item of business we have is seeking the approval to advertise for Western Fire Turnout Gear. You shouldn't have anything in your folder. Before we went down this road, we feel like their turnout gear, which they have the money to purchase, will be over the 20,000 bid threshold amount. And so I've suggested to the fire department that we bid that out correctly. And I would like the court's approval to conduct that bidding process and advertise.
I can tell you what they're wanting if you want me to. Like they're wanting 10 pairs of boots, 10 pairs of, I guess, the bibs that you wear, and 10 helmets with the shield at medium grade. So it's a little over 20,000.
Yep. And based on bid requirements, you can't just buy 6 units and then turn around a couple of months later and buy 6 more. You have to bid it out correctly. If the total aggregate amount is over 20,000, this is the correct way to go about it.
Motion to allow them to bid.
Second.
Motion has been made by Magistrate Troutman and seconded, or Magistrate Hayden and seconded by Magistrate Bishop to approve the bidding and advertisement for the Western Fire Turnout Gear. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion to approve the Western Fire Turnout Gear advertisement and bidding is approved. Next, we have the county fee report from the county clerk. You should have that in your folder for January 21, and you'll see that the total remitted to the county is $10,875.60.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to accept the county fee report from the county clerk. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion to accept the county fee report from the county clerk passes. Next, we'll skip item F and move to item G, which is the continuation of the discussion and resolution for Jewel Lane. Resolution number 2-11-21-1 of the McLean County Fiscal Court, whereas on February 11, 2020, a petition was presented to the McLean County Fiscal Court evidencing that over 55% of property owners abutting the private road known as Jewel Lane were willing to dedicate extension of 707 feet of said road for public use. And whereas it was further found by the fiscal court that said road had been used by the general public openly and continuously. And whereas the petition dedicated 707 feet of right of ways to public use over said Jewel Lane. Wherefore, it is resolved by the McLean County Fiscal Court as it being in the best interest of the county in accordance with provisions of KRS 178.405 through KRS 178.425, that an extension of 707 feet of Jewel Lane is hereby established as a county road and dedicated to public use, and that the county shall hold fee simple title hold the simple title to Jewel Lane. The county works department shall maintain the entirety of Jewel Lane as herein dedicated in the same manner as it maintains any other county road in accordance with KRS 178.420. I'll entertain a motion to approve the resolution.
Motion to approve resolution.
The motion is made by Mr. Hayden and seconded by Mr. Troutman to approve resolution 2-11-21-1 regarding Jewel Lane and its extension. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The adoption of resolution 2-28-21-1 regarding Jewel Lane is approved. Next, we have resolution item H, which is project requested under House Bill 352. It's a resolution adopting by the McLean County Fiscal Court authorizing the filing of the Kentucky Local Government Economic Development Fund, LGEDF House Bill, or the COLE funds, as we've discussed before, and its amendment to that application up to $1.5 million in local government economic development single county funds with the Department for Local Government, and authorizing and directing the McLean County Judge Executive to execute any documents which are deemed necessary by DOG to carry out this project, and authorizing the Judge Executive to act as the authorized correspondent for this project. Whereas McLean County desires to promote and carry out community and economic development efforts on behalf of the residents of McLean County by supporting and resolving the debt service issues of county funds, including but not limited to fire, jail, ambulance dispatch, and senior service funds. And whereas it is recognized by the LGEDF monies available to the county for the purposes stated herein pursuant to KRS 42.4582 to 42.495 in the 2020 Kentucky General Assembly House Bill 352, or the budget bill, and imposes certain obligations and responsibilities upon the county and will require, among other things, approval of satisfactory amended application transmitted to DOG for approval, concurrence from the respective state representatives and state senators, and other obligations of the county in connection with receiving LGEDF grant monies for the purposes stated herein. Now therefore be it resolved on the 11th day of February 2021, technically the 5th day, with 15th day, with correction by the McLean County Fiscal Court, that the House Bill 352 Coal Severance Project Proposal Amendment Application Amendment on behalf of the county for LGEDF funds amended to up to $1.5 million for offering debt service to county funds, including but not limited to fire, jail, ambulance dispatch, and senior service funds, shall be submitted to DOG, and the county shall provide such additional information and furnish such documentation as may be required. And the county judge executive shall act as authorized correspondence for this project. Is there any discussion? Basically, the coal receipts for the fiscal, well, the calendar year 2020 were higher than anticipated. And so we have more LGEDF funds per our House Bill 352 project to continue to pay back all the funds that were owed to each department. We have almost completed the debt repayments to all the fire departments. We have 2 left. For me, that's priority, is to pay them back. And then we've already put funds into all the other respective funds. So of course, we're well on our way to accomplishing the project. This just makes the next available funds available to us through the rest of this fiscal year. And then we're going to apply again. We'll do this all over. I hope that makes sense. I'll entertain a motion to approve that resolution.
Motion to approve that resolution.
All right, the motion has been made by Mr. Bishop, seconded by Mr. Troutman to approve the resolution 2-11-21-2 regarding amendment to the House Bill 352 application for McLean County Fiscal Court. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Motion to approve resolution 2-11-21-2 passes. Next is the item I, which is the resolution regarding the available loan for the heart monitors that we discussed in the previous meeting. The funds are available after we checked with KCO, but they do require that we have a resolution approved by the court. It reads as follows: Resolution number 2-11-21-3. It's a resolution approving a lease for the financing of the project, providing for the payment and security of the lease, and authorizing the execution of various documents related to such lease, and making certain designations regarding such lease. Whereas the governing body of McLean County, Kentucky has the power, according to section 65.940 of the Kentucky Revised Statutes, to enter into lease agreements with or without the option to purchase in order to provide for the use of property for public purposes. Whereas the governing body of the leasee, the McLean County Fiscal Court, has previously determined and hereby further determines that the leasee is in need of the project or the heart monitors, as we discussed. And whereas the governing body has determined and hereby determines that it is in fact in the best interest of the leasee that the leasee enter into the lease agreement to be administered by the Kentucky Association of Counties Leasing Trust and funded by the bank or financial institution offering the lowest and best interest rate as selected by the leasee, or the leasing by the leasee from the lessor of the project. Say that 3 times. Now therefore be it resolved by the McLean County Fiscal Court as follows: Section 1, recitals and authorization. Hereby approve the lease agreement and all collateral documents to the extent defined and identified in the lease, each and substantiated the form presented to this governing body. It is hereby found and determined that the project identified in the lease is public property to be used for public purposes. It is further determined that it is necessary and desirable and in the best interest of the leasee to enter into the lease for the purposes therein specified, in the execution and delivery of the lease and all representation, certifications, and other matters contained in the closing memorandum with respect to the lease, or as may be required by the lessor prior to the delivery of the lease, are hereby approved, ratified, and confirmed. The judge, executive, and fiscal court of the leasee are hereby authorized to execute the lease together with such other agreements or certifications which may be necessary to accomplish the transaction completed by the lease. Section 2 talks about the administration of the lease, which will be conducted by the Kentucky Association of Counties Leasing Trust and is hereby acknowledged to be the program administrator under the lease. Section 3 concerns severability. If any section, paragraph, or provision of this resolution shall be held to be invalid or unenforceable for any reason, the invalidity or unenforceability of such section, paragraph, or provision shall not affect any of the remaining provisions of this resolution. Section 4, regarding open meeting laws, this government body hereby finds and determines that all formal actions relative to the adoption of this resolution were taken in open meeting format of this governing body, that all deliberations of this governing body or its committees, if any, which resulted in formal action were in meetings open to the public in full compliance with applicable legal requirements. Section 5 regards conflicts. Any ordinances, resolutions, orders, or parts thereof in conflict with this provision of this resolution are, to the extent of such conflict, hereby repealed, and the provisions of this resolution shall prevail and be given effect. And then Section 6 is the effective date, which will be when we sign all the agreements together. So if you all agree with that, which basically allows us to acquire the funds that are available, I'll entertain a motion to approve this resolution.
Motion to approve.
The motion has been made by Manager Bishop. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Manager Troutman to approve Resolution 2-28-21 regarding the KCO loan heart monitor. Is there any discussion?
Could you reread that on this part?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, hold on. I think I'll go and rewind the video.
Question.
Questions be called for. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion to approve the resolution 2-28-21-3 regarding the KCO heart loan monitor for the EMS service is approved. Next, we have item J, which is ordinance establishing a 35-mile-per-hour speed limit on East Harmons Ferry Road in its entirety near Livermore, Kentucky, and McLean County. Whereas the county of McLean has requested to establish a speed limit on East Harmons Ferry Road in its entirety that is maintained with the McLean County Fiscal Court as East Harmons Ferry Road, and that we recognize it is a county road. And whereas the county road foreman has reviewed the request, observed the speed situation on said road, and recommended that the county adopt a lower speed limit. Now therefore it is ordained by the Fiscal Court of McLean County, Commonwealth of Kentucky as follows. Effective with publication and posted signage, the speed limit on East Harmonsbury Road in its entirety maintained in the McLean County Fiscal Court located near Livermore, Kentucky, to the extent same lines within the county is hereby lowered to 35 miles per hour. Introduced and given the first reading at a duly convened meeting of McLean County Fiscal Court held on the 28th day of January, and the second reading and adoption will be today, the 15th day of February 2021, if you all approve the second reading.
Motion to approve ordinance.
The motion has been made by Manager Trammell. Do we have a second? Seconded by Manager Hayden to approve the second reading of ordinance 21.530-1 regarding speed limit change on East Harmonsbury Road to 35 miles per hour. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All those opposed, nay. Motion to approve the second reading of ordinance 21.530-1 is approved. Next, we have discussion on the road department full-time employee. David, would you like to say anything about where we stand on that?
Yeah, at this time, I'd like to postpone that to next court meeting possibly, so we have time to review the applications and do some interviews. We haven't went through that process yet.
Got quite a few though that applied.
I think 14 right now.
All right. Next item of, I'll entertain a motion to postpone that item of business to the next court.
Motion postponed.
Motion has been made by Manager Hayden, seconded by Manager Trammell to postpone the hiring of the full-time employee for the road department to the next fiscal court meeting. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All those opposed, nay. Motion to postpone the hiring of the full-time road department employee to the next regular fiscal court meeting is approved. Next, I've been approached by one or two individuals regarding the surplusing of the senior Chevy van at the senior citizens service. The proper way to do that is to take sealed bids. If you all are interested in that process, I would be glad to do that. Either we do that or we conduct a surplus auction, which we plan to do also. But we do have interested parties in that senior Chevrolet van. It's a larger van that we're not currently using.
David, would that fit into y'all's work program any at all?
I don't think we can have much use for it, man.
We will need to advertise for bids.
Judge,
Yes.
we're looking to hold an auction on hopefully March 27th. We're waiting back to confirm the dates from the auctioneer. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but if y'all just got that one van, if y'all want to put that in with the rest of the seizures and surplus vehicles we're auctioning, more welcome to.
What's the pleasure of the court?
I entertain a motion to do that.
Second. Motion to combine it with the regular auction. Okay, the motion has been made and properly seconded.
Proceeds coming back to the court.
Yeah, we'll pay, we gotta advertise anyway, so legally I can't keep those funds, Matt.
I doubt it'll mess your budget up.
Do what now?
I doubt it will mess your budget up.
No, it wouldn't hurt.
Motion has been made and properly seconded to include the senior Chevrolet van in on the proposed March 27th auction for surplus property. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion to approve adding the senior van to the auction on March 27th passes. Next item of business is a suggestion. I talked with our insurance company. As you can tell, David and the road department did complete the cleanup on the senior services building. I think our total cost of that project come in well under what we had bid, correct, David? I think you all were able to get that done in about 2 days or so.
Yeah, about a day and a half, yeah. The equipment's gonna come in considerably less. Haven't seen the bill from the landfill yet, but not as much as we figured either.
Sure, yeah. All right, so with that said, I would like to entertain a motion to provide approval to look into getting, acquiring and doing an RFQ and RFP for architectural services, and also a surveyor to determine the flood levels for the current senior citizen property. I haven't discussed with Joanna Shake at GRAD, the Division of Water. That seems to be the most prudent and effective way to determine the feasibility of the current site that we have based on pending changes to flood maps. And I'm going to ask that the architect and the surveyor help us do some calculations as well on if we need to raise that site. What's the cost efficiency of raising it versus moving to another site? And we're going to do our homework, but I wanted to have your all's approval to seek architectural and surveyor services for that property.
Motion to approve architectural services and surveyor for the senior citizen.
Second.
Okay, the motion has been made and properly seconded for the approval on seeking architectural and surveyor services. I will reach out and market that and bid that correctly for you and come back with some proposals. Any other thoughts? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The approval of architectural services and surveyor actions is approved. Next, Sheriff, you'd like to discuss your item of business?
Yes, I'm seeking approval to purchase a used vehicle to replace our other K-9 unit. If you look through the ones that I pulled, basically the best and only really good deal that fits us right now is the one from Asian Motors. It's a 2016 Ford Explorer. It's got 56,000 miles on it and some change, and they're asking $18,995 for it. It's a very fair price. They're going to deliver it to us for that price as well, like the other vendor that we worked with before. So I'm just seeking approval to go ahead and purchase that. With this purchase, as you remember, earlier in the year, y'all budgeted around $40,000 for vehicles. We purchased one used to replace the other K-9 vehicle. With this purchase, and by the time the install is, we're going to probably come in somewhere around $500 to $1,000 under that total budget. So.
Pleasure of the court.
Run that by me one more time.
Which part?
18,995. You budgeted 40,000.
Yeah.
And then you put in something there about coming in under budget.
Yeah, well, y'all purchased one previously under
Okay.
that line item, and you had two together. And it with the install and everything. Purchasing these used allows us to use the same cage compartment for the dog and prisoner. They're a 2/3, 1/3 system, so we can still haul one inmate. And that saves us about somewhere between $5,000 and $7,000, depending on what all you do got to replace. The cage itself is around $5,500. So this is, budget-wise, this is the best way to go at this time.
Is there really a need for two K-9 units?
I think so. Certainly a good thing to have. Reinvesting the drug seizure money that we get off the drug dealers, and K-9s help get more. The way the laws and stuff have changed with search and seizure, it makes us the availability to get in these vehicles a whole lot easier than it was before.
I move to allow the sheriff to purchase the quoted 2006 Ford Explorer, $995 from Motors,
Going to be a 16.
or 2016. Yeah.
Second.
The motion has been made and properly seconded to approve the purchase of the used 2016 Ford Explorer in the amount of $18,995. Is there any discussion?
So your surplus and anything out there for that?
Yeah, we got some seizures that we made that we're surplusing, and the old vehicles that since replaced revenue surplus. And we've got about 9 or 10 total off the top of
So
my head.
that'd be going back into the vehicle budget.
Narcotic fund, which we purchased vehicles out of that before too.
How many vehicles did you say would be in the auction?
About 9 or 10 off the top of my head.
But those are not police vehicles.
Some are, and some are seizures.
Any other comments?
Any other good?
I don't know, maybe.
I don't recall seizing any from your back, so.
I don't know.
Any other thoughts? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Motion to approve the purchase of the 2016 Ford Explorer used vehicle in the amount of $18,995 from Asian Motors is approved. Next item of business is item O. As a follow-up, and this, I know Magistrate Lowry was in on the training with me as well.
What is that?
He's had some issues with the stove this morning.
Yeah.
Regarding item O, we have the possibility to apply for grant money to go along with the sewer project at the park. Having talked with the engineers, the total project cost is going to be higher than what we anticipated, based on the size and diameter of the pipe and to put in the required grinder pumps that were necessary for the facility. We did a cost comparison with the health department. We don't have enough square footage of land to put in a septic system. I looked into that. But with that said, I would entertain your approval to allow us to apply for this grant, to add to the funds we already have to put in the sewer system. I think long-term, we could put in a septic system. It's not going to fit what we want to do. And I think we're going to be limited long-term to accomplish what we want at the park. If we don't get it, we won't move forward. We've already done all the work. We've already found the engineer, done all the bidding for that. But there's up to $250,000 available in this CBDG funding for that. So
What was the match?
the match is a 50-50 match up to $250,000, but we do have ag development funds in the amount of $20,000. My goal is to go back to ag development once we know the true design and cost of the park and go back and ask for more funds for it.
But you don't have an estimate on total project cost.
No, but it's more than the $40,000 that they had a quote for in 2016. $40,000 won't even touch it. You know, having talked, we've looked at trying to be cost efficient, us doing the dirt work. Now, the catch to the match is if we have data and then bring the excavator out and do work, we get to claim their time as part of that match. So any work that we do, any volunteer hours counts towards the match. So it's a pretty good deal. And we can't pay it at your regular $50 an hour rate. They told me just $10.50 is the higher rate claim that we can make. So the technical matters, pays.
Is the city county matching this?
Not currently, no. Now, before I went into all that, I wanted to make sure you all are interested in going for the grant. My goal, the preliminary discussions I've had with the city council, they're interested in having discussions to where they cover the cost of the sewer fee going forward. So they have not said no to that. So hopefully we'll have some. My goal is we put the sewer in long-term for the park, if the city will grant us the partnership, yeah. But,
They'll get the maintenance and the fees.
it'd be good. But like I said, this is a pretty unique opportunity. It's meant for this purpose, to put in infrastructure to make parks and access to the environment a lot better long-term. The tanks that we have are costing us money regardless. I think we've had that discussion. And they had not been inspected because they were somewhat exempt. We want the park to continue to progress, which I think it is. This is obviously a necessary installment. We're going to need letters. I've got letters of support from some individuals already. So it's going to be a pretty big process. I was hoping Joey was here to kind of add to that, but like I said, the funds are there. There's another grant for recreational trails as well. It's not on discussion this morning, but it will approval to go after that grant.
Motion to approve, land and water grant.
Second.
All right, the motion has been made and properly seconded to pursue the land and water grant for Meyer Creek Park. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion to approve the application process for the land and water grant is, for the park passes. Next, given what we're going through today on the weather, that's one reason why I was so pressed to try to get us a meeting this morning. Obviously, David is down on some help. We do have part-time employees that we did not use all their time, and given what we expect to be a significant snow event today, and maybe we'll get lucky, I would ask that the court provide a reauthorization for the part-time road department employee. David, would you like to add any discussion on that?
Yeah, JR and I, he's seasonal with us, this past summer. I'd just like to reactivate him for a couple of days, or depends on what it does the rest of the week here, actually, you know.
But he has not exceeded his time allocation.
No, he works, I think, 7 months.
Yeah.
Something like that, pretty close to that.
Yeah, and he's willing to come in and help us if the court approves.
Did we have a timeline on his work previously?
Up to, what's the limitation on that?
And 9 months, my understanding.
Yes, I think you're right.
See a driver,
He will run a tractor blade on it.
Motion to reauthorize part-time road department help.
Second.
The motion has been made and properly seconded to reauthorize the part-time road department seasonal employee for snow emergencies. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All those opposed, nay. Motion to approve the reauthorization of part-time road department seasonal employee is approved.
Does this restart his time?
Now I'll have to check into it.
If it's 9 months, it's expired.
I know it's 9 months, but I don't know if that's per calendar year or I'll have to check into that.
All right.
I didn't know if the previous, if he just got a few hours left, is he just gonna be able to work them and then have to quit using? Or maybe we've hired him again?
I'll be honest, I'll have to.
This is really for just a snow emergency. If we go through the other, we'll go through the whole process again, but this is, we're not having much luck with getting prepped for the snow, or with the truck, we've got some significant truck issues. I give David credit, he drove, I approved him for emergency PO Saturday, he drove to Evansville, got the part, brought it back, still didn't work. So we're down the truck this morning. I think that's something that we should keep on our mind. I've talked to surrounding counties about looking to get rid of a couple of these trucks. We're having an issue, but here we are, largest snow event in 4 years, and half our equipment don't work. So that's convenient. But anyway, I'll, since this is a special call meeting, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
The motion has been made and properly seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion to adjourn.
I am Tammy, but I hope y'all said you never can make the motion to accept the treasurer's